was an enthralling trip north of the border and an important weekend for Tom Ingram. He secured his 4th victory of the season in race 2 to strengthen his lead at the top of the championship and his chances of becoming a 2-time BTCC champion. Either side of that race, Jake Hill reminded us why he is the defending champion, shaking off illness in the previous round to secure a delightful double in race 1 and 3 up in 5. So in the top of the standings, Tom Ingram's lead over Ash Sutton has stretched to 17 points in what is looking like a 2-man shootout for the title. Dan Camish is the outsider challenger. He secured 2 podiums in Scotland to title his grip of 3rd spot. 14 points ahead of teammate Dan Rowbottom. Jake Hill's double victory a fortnight ago elevates him to 5th position. The remaining top 8 places are made up by Adam Morgan, Tom Chilton and rookie driver Charles Rainford. Well, it's a tight affair in the team's competition, with Napa Racing UK currently holding a slim advantage over Team Virtue. Similarly so in the manufacturers, with Alliances Racing Ford narrowly leading the way. Amongst the independents, Chris Smiley remains top of the driver's standings, holding a 13-point lead over Mikey Doble. And Smiley's Restart Racing are also in a commanding position in the independent teams. It's hotting up in the rookies competition, the Jack Sears Trophy, where it's neck and neck between Daryl de Leon and Charles Rainford. What a season they have both had, which we'll hear more about a little later on in the show. So, in the run-in to the title, it starts here in Leicestershire at Donington Park. 3 touring car races coming up today on this 2.5-mile Grand Prix circuit, one of the most historic courses here in the UK, and it has proved happy hunting ground for title contender Ash Sutton, who secured a double win here back in April, and he's recorded a race victory every year he's visited this Grand Prix circuit. Will there be another twist and tilt in the championship run-in today?
Right, we're ready to go racing. Last car will slot into place at the back. A green flag is going to be shown to say that everybody is in position. The drivers will then look towards the lighting gantry. The sun is shining at Donington. Tom Chilton is on pole position. The lights are red. Lights out, good getaway made then by Smiley from 3rd on the grid. Demon start as you would expect from Daryl de Leon, but it's going to be Tom Chilton just ahead on the run down towards Redgate. To the outside line goes Tom Ingram. Is he going to be able to go all the way around the outside to clear his teammate? He's going to try. Up the inside goes Smiley. The road opens up for him, and Chilton is just going to be able to defend as Ingram comes around the outside to secure 2nd. Smiley 3rd as they drop downhill for the first time, and then behind there's a good getaway being made by the Fords as they can start to chip their way up the order. Down to the old hairpin on that one. It's Chilton up front. Camish has made a good start.
Here we see on the straight. Now, is that Camish moving over or defending? It looks like he let him through very easily. He let him through. I'm not sure quite what the play is there, but maybe it's for him to go after Smiley.
Big slide there from Aaron Taylor-Smith as Rowbottom gets up the inside of Smiley down to the Melbourne hairpin, and job done. And have a look at Sutton in the background because he feints the inside, and as Robo goes through and goes wide, Smiley comes back at Rowbottom and retakes the place, although Rowbottom's going to have the inside line for the next hairpin at Goddard, so he should be able to hang on to that 3rd, but Smiley is not giving up without a fight. And have a look behind because Camish and Sutton are together, and Ingram is into the lead of the race. There's been a switch now between Team Virtue, the game of chess here to get your cars as high up the order for the championship as possible is certainly happening in both squads. That is Sutton thinking about a move on the inside, and he gets ahead of Camish. Job done. He'll have got the message that Ingram is ahead now for the race lead, so Sutton needs as many points, although that looks as though he had to work a bit harder than Rowbottom did.
Now the leaders have swapped back again, so Chilton is back in front, so I wonder if that was a just give the extra point to Tom Ingram, or whether indeed this is an effort for Tom Ingram to get the fastest lap by having the tow from the other car, but I fancy that the tyres are probably past their best.
And as they head up towards Schwantz Curve, he's close enough to have a go against Chris Smiley, and there's the gap to the inside line. Sutton goes through, nicely done.
Beautiful pass, perfectly timed as always with Ash Sutton passes. The problem that Sutton has had is that Smiley's got the maximum of 8 laps of boost to use. Camish just opened the door with 2 wheels on the grass. That's the difference between using boost and not using boost.
So through he goes then, but a rallycross required as he puts 2 wheels onto the dirt. Laser Tools Racing BMW to try to go around the outside of Smiley, and he's got his nose in front of the Melbourne hairpin, a little bit of a lock-up, and Smiley gets his elbows out, just hangs on to the place.
But I know that Hill's on the boost this lap, because I saw the light in the rear window flashing, and look at the advantage. Bit of traction advantage off the corner, bit of boost, and Hill's able to get up the inside cleanly this time of Smiley, and Morgan goes through as well with a bit of hip and shoulder onto the grass.
So Chilton heads out of the Melbourne hairpin. It was at this part of the circuit that Ingram gave the lead back to Chilton, and it looks as though Tom Chilton is going to be able to stay ahead then. He was a winner on the national circuit earlier on in the season. It's going to be an 18th win of his career, or is it? Because he slows right down, he flashes the lights, he comes up to the line, and Tom Chilton comes through just ahead of Tom Ingram. He does take the win. The gap at the flag, 0.6 of a second. Lights go red, engine notes rise, the lights are out now, and away they go with a good getaway by Sutton, easily able to jump up alongside Rowbottom on the way down towards Redgate. He's trying to get past Ingram as well, if he can do it in one move, but it's going to be Chilton, Ingram first and second. Sutton is up to third ahead of Rowbottom. Then you've got Camish in fifth, and it looks like Morgan might well be sixth as they drop through Hollywood for the first time, down through the Craner curves. Good getaway by Chilton. Now, for how long can those two Hyundais on the harder tyre fend off Sutton? Not for long, may well be the answer.
Well, Ingram's blocking massively. You can see the lack of grip from the back of that Hyundai, and look how everybody else is all over the back of him. This is a dangerous ploy by Ingram to block, because he could end up getting turned around, but of course Sutton knows that on the medium tyre he's got an advantage on lap one.
And also, of course, Ingram is trying. Oh, drama in the background. We've got one of the WSR BMWs off. We've got Senna Proctor off. That looks like Sam Osborne off the road as well. It's either Rainford or Moffat. We'll check in a moment as the cars come into view. So there's Sam Osborne trying to rejoin. Chilton's building a lead. And here we go again, look. So there's a sideways Toyota, but Proctor goes off the road ahead. He comes across, and Osborne is a victim as well. Safety car is deployed. Senna Proctor's car trying to be removed then as the field comes down the hill. Our 13th appearance this season of the safety car. The spots of rain are getting more and more.
Remember, they cannot accelerate until they get to the acceleration point, which is coming up right now. As they come up to the line, they all accelerate at the same time, so a very tight restart.
And Ingram looks as though he's on his toes a little bit better than Chilton, so Tom Ingram would quite like to hit the front if he can, and Chilton lets him go, and there's contact behind. Sutton got turned round. That was Rowbottom, I think, that clipped the back of him, and Sutton all of a sudden gets embroiled with Chilton. Cars come flooding past, and Ash Sutton suddenly got sideways. It looked as though, as they all tried to assess the grip level, there was a tap in the back, and Sutton's come off worst.
Well, remember, Rowbottom was on the hard tyre. There's a bit of dampness on the track, and he just locked it up. So that was a real disaster, not what Sutton needed at all, and now they're outfing the gravel.
That's Sutton off again. He's taken Taylor Smith with him. All of a sudden, Ash Sutton's race that we thought he was a shoe-in to win, he's going from bad to worse. It's Dan Camish now up into second spot. So you've got Ingram in the race lead. It's Camish in second. In third is Morgan. Fourth is Darrell De Leon. And it's a very, very different order indeed from that we had when the race restarted. But Dan Camish's move for the race lead. He's getting closer and closer and closer. Here he comes. Then he has a look at the inside into Coppice. There was just about a gap, but Tom Ingram is certainly not giving up here. But Camish on the better tyre is going to be able to clear him. Coming on to Starkey Straight. Ingram is still fighting, but Camish will have the job done by the end of the straight. Ingram is right there, though, desperately trying to fight back. But Dan Cam leads.
But down the inside goes Morgan. Using the extra grip, he's run a little bit wide, but he's got the place cleanly through, and Ingram not fighting him.
And Sutton is still desperately trying to gain another place, and therefore more points. And around the outside he goes, and look at this. This is over at McLean's. The heavens have opened, and off the road goes Jake Hill. Off the road has gone Camish. Off the road has gone De Leon. Off the road has gone Ingram. Off the road has gone Morgan. Camish gets it back on just in the nick of time, but there are cars everywhere, and it looks as though Gordon Shedden's up into second place. Make that fourth, in fairness. No, Morgan's round the outside. Safety car called. Safety car is called. So here they come. Now, of course, the only other thing we need to worry about in all of this with the mixed conditions is ride height at the end of the race. But for now, let's just call it as it is on the road. Dan Camish.
It'll be fine because they're still on the slick tyres.
Yeah, that's true. Dan Camish comes through to take the race win. Then behind the safety car, Adam Morgan is going to be second. Gordon Shedden is going to be third. Chris Smiley fourth to win the independents. Tom Ingram fifth. Could have been a lot worse on that hard tyre. Sixth to Darrell De Leon. Josh Cook seventh from 18th. Excellent effort ahead of Aaron Taylor Smith, who got the fastest lap. Ash Sutton ninth. And Jake Hill actually was one of the big losers of the rain and the gravel because he fell to 10th. We're ready to go racing. Lights are red. Lights are out, round 24 he's going, a good getaway by Ash Sutton, good start also by Daryl De Leon as the cars accelerate down towards Redgate for the first time. Josh Cook trying to get up the inside of Aaron Taylor-Smith. Remember, Cook on the quicker tyre, and he does brake as late as he can, and Josh Cook will go second on the inside line. It is Ash Sutton ahead though for the race lead, and squeezing his way up into second place goes Cook. Third, it is going to be Taylor-Smith, and Ingram is already up to fourth at the expense of Daryl De Leon.
Well, Josh Cook was rolling before the lights went out. I don't know if the officials picked it up, but he was definitely moving, and that's helped him get up to second place.
So the cars go up through Schwantz Curve, but we might well have the start under investigation in a moment. We'll see as Ingram is trying to find a way now past Aaron Taylor-Smith. So Cookie up to second, but that might be under investigation. We'll see. Sutton is leading the way, and he's getting a bit of a gap already. Ingram being held up slightly by the Toyotas that, of course, want the best result they can possibly get. They're not in the championship hunt. They just want points. They want good results. Ingram's on the attack, though, now up against Taylor-Smith as they come on the start. He's straight, and this is the run all the way down to the S's. Ingram to the outside line, and he's got the job done. That's on pure pace.
But it's no stopping Ingram. Look, he is absolutely charging. But hats off to Ash Sutton. That's a good first lap on the hard tyre. Ingram cuts to the inside.
And Cook tries to defend, but Ingram has got the pace. He's got the run off the corner, then they go toe-to-toe, but Josh Cook on the inside line trying to defend for all he's worth. Locks up, brakes so late the car squirms, and Ingram's going to get up the inside line. He's all up the curb, two wheels on the dirt even, but Ingram's going to go by, and Taylor-Smith tries to buy into this as well, and he's up the inside of Cook. They almost bang mirrors. Aaron Taylor-Smith goes through up into third place. Here comes Cook back on the inside. He's got his nose in front, but Taylor-Smith will have the line for the corner. ATS goes third. Great racing.
This is going to be a big ask, isn't it, for Sutton to maintain this for the rest of the race. And he hasn't got any help from another fast car behind, which could hinder. Oh, a great cutback there from England. He's got a little bit of an overlap. Now we'll have the inside as they come up to the hairpin. Is he going to pull it off this time? He is.
Race leader, Tom Ingram, as they come out of the hairpin, but Sutton straight away is on the attack. He's back up alongside, but that's only going to give him the outside line for Goddard, so Ingram should get the deal done into the corner. Sutton's going to try to stand his ground on the outside and make a move at Redgate, but there's no way he can do that. So Tom Ingram does lead at the end of the lap, but Sutton is still fighting. Great racing between the two, and Sutton's back ahead in a straight line. Now he needs to dive across and cover off the line for the corner. He moves across on Ingram. There's just about room for the Hyundai on the inside. Ingram elbows out up the inside line. He's back into the lead, but Sutton is not giving up. Fantastic stuff. And that's Rowbottom about to make a move. Look, coming down the inside of Josh Cook, and he gets the job done heading into the Melbourne hairpin. Side by side there. Look, Hill on the inside, Chilton on the outside. Neither of them have managed to find a way past Taylor-Smith. They're involved in a big battle for fifth, and they've got Gordon Shedden seventh. Now, Shedden's rebuilding his race a bit. He dropped back further than that early on, and now he's regrouped and he's gained places again, or regained places. Here are the leaders, though, and Tom Ingram is on target to extend the championship lead yet further, to take a fifth win of the year, a 38th career win. And Tom Ingram wins race 3 at Donington. He rounds out the day in style. Ash Sutton second, Dan Rowbottom third, and the battle for fourth is just going to go the way of Aaron Taylor-Smith ahead of Jake Hill, then Tom Chilton, Gordon Shedden seventh, Dan Lloyd eighth, and to win the independents, it's Daryl De Leon ninth, and then 10th, it's Charles Rainford.
Best moment of the weekend, Paul?
Oh, wow. You're asking me a difficult question. I actually can't think of one. Probably the mini race for me, actually.
Are you sure it wasn't having no spiders?
Oh, actually, yeah. I got away with that,
No
didn't I?
spiders this weekend.
Well, do join us in 3 weeks' time as we have plenty more action at Silverstone. We'll see you then. Goodbye.